Yeah, that was good timing. Small journal 327, early, like 60s, 62, 63, I think. Yeah, you can see it's a nasty looking block. I've got the soft plugs out of it, and it's dirty, but I'm going to wash it. Then it's going to go into the Evapo rust. And now that just shut off, I got a set of heads in there that I cleaned up. I'm going to rinse off, and we'll take a look at those. Then this is going to go into there, get the initial grime off it. Then it's going to go in there. All right. And no, they didn't come out orange. While they were still warm, they were still starting to flash rust. Right now I've sprayed them with WD-40 on the bare metal. And I painted the outside of them for now to keep them from flash rusting. But that block's in there. And I want to wipe those down. And then I noticed somebody's done some work to these heads, but the guides are not all installed at the same height. They're not shaved off. I don't know if the guides have moved or somebody just put them in. They didn't finish machining them or what, but yeah. Hopefully that's going to be another set of heads that I can just clean up while they're cleaned up. That I'll be able to lap in. So anyway, right now I'm going to get that motor out and we're here and get it blow dry, and then we're going to put it in the Evapo rust. So, alright. Okay, well, there's the cylinders, and that is rough. Hopefully this thing hasn't been bored. There's the lifter valley. This is just brown. This block is just brown rust. Don't know any history on it. Main caps are all there. See, a couple of the bolts fell out, but we're gonna get her out and get into the Evapo rust. Well, hey, it's the next day, and I just pulled that small journal 327 out to take a look at it. I should have showed you guys, but holy moly, what I thought was rusted, pitted bad, wiped off. Pan rails were wiped off. All that inside there is coming out. The lifter bores are starting to go back to shiny. Oil filter area. Yeah, the bores look terrible, but if this thing's standard, it's going to be bored anyway. I wiped off the deck surface here. It's starting to look usable. I'm not finding any more numbers than that. I think this is a warranty replacement 327 back in the day. But yeah, from yesterday, remember how brown this was? This is coming clean. I've wiped down some areas and checking them out. Look at that lifter bore. It's almost clean. So we're going to put it back down in there, let it soak. Yeah. And I guess for you guys that, if you do get some of your own Evapo rust, be prepared. It's not the Evapo rust staining your fingers, it's the metal that's coming off. Oh, here, let's try this. And yes, there's the Evapo rust. It's getting pretty black. But watch this. Look at that. I'm just wiping it off. We'll hit this bore a little. Look at that bore. That bore is starting to look very usable. It's going to be bored. It's going to need bored because I can see a ringerage, but look at that rust. It just wiping right off. I mean, that deck surface has gone from looking like it was completely shot to and down in there, that's starting to shine up. I mean, the Evapo rust, there's the metal coming off. This stuff is a few months old. This is like block number, 1, 2, 3, 4, 5, 6. 6 blocks, plus all the chains, plus all the heads, plus the crankshafts I ran through this. And this stuff is doing very good. I ain't going to hold you over the barrel because my luck I'd drop it today. It's one of those days, but yeah, this I'm going to put back in, let it soak, and then later this afternoon we'll throw it in the hot tank, wash it. And if this measures out at a standard bore, I'll be happy, because when you bore it, you're going to clean the cylinder, so there's over, you know, if you split this block into thirds or fourths, between boring the cylinders, you've already taken care of half of the machine surface inside. The outside, I'm not so worried about. The inside, you want it as clean as possible. And with this all wiping down and coming off like that, and this hasn't had machine work, so by the time I'm done doing this Evapo rust work with this and washing it here, then I'll verify the block ain't cracked. It'll be clean enough I can crack check it, and then it can go up. Then I'll take it up and have him do the machine work to it. And once he washes it in his acid tank, and it comes back here, and may go in for one more dunk by then between this round and my washing and his machine work and washing of the block. This thing should be absolutely like brand new when it comes back. And the thing about it is, if the line bore's on, I wouldn't be afraid to, once I got this washed up, I wouldn't be afraid to run this the way it is. Once it's clean, of course, but yeah. I mean, this block went from almost going in the scrap wagon to, I'm going to have a small Journal 327 here when I'm done. So we'll see what happens. So I'm going to put it back in and check it later this afternoon, and then we'll give it a wash and see how it does. Main caps are looking like new. I'll show you guys those later. I'm not going to put them back in. Actually, I'm probably going to I'll throw those in the hot tank. I'm going to do a little test too. Here, watch this. We'll even try it with a rubber glove. I mean, look at that. Even with the rubber glove, the rust that was there is wiping off. So, and there's no pitting in. That one might be, yeah, that's got a little pit. But if that's all it's got, I mean, yeah. And if, I'm just amazed. Like I said, I'm very amazed at what this thing has turned into. Oh, let's date this thing. This is, okay. It's a 378270 block is the casting, and the date code is, I can't see. I can't see it. Just a second. Let me get a flashlight. Oh wait, this thing's got a light, don't it? Okay. Let's see if it shows up with this light. Oh. Okay, you guys see that? K7 of 62. there you guys go. So that is an early 327. And here, the only numbers on there are TIII 0S. So that's the only thing. There's no VIN number on it, so it kind of tells me this was a replacement block of some sort. So, I mean, it just wipes right off. Nasty, crusty to just wiping right off. I hope this thing hasn't been bored, because I see there's a stamped steel plug in there. Usually those were solid, so same there. So, boy, I really hope this thing hasn't been bored. It's got some nasty ring ridge, so anyway, we'll clean her. Worst case scenario, hell, just to have fun, I'll just, if I have to, I'll put 8 sleeves in the thing. Why not? You're not going to find many 62 327s anymore, so kind of makes it rare. I did have a crank for the, I did have 2 cranks, but I don't think either one of them were going to be savable, and they were small journal already. So like I said, I've got some old 327 cranks that are pretty decent, but they're not good enough to stay large journal. So yeah, I'm very pleased. And the other good thing that it's got going for this, the cam bearings were still in here when this rusted, so the cam bearing bore is going to be okay. So all right, we'll be back. Okay, here's an update. I just checked it. Guess what? $3,993. It's still a standard bore, 4-inch bore. So what's left in these cylinders? The passenger side's not cleaning up as nice. It's got a little roughness to it. But looking at the driver's side, it's gone. It's gone. But here on the mains, I mean, that all has come off. Granted, we'll have to put a straight edge on it, but it's getting ready to go in. I mean, even up here on the cam thrust has straightened out. So I might have to stick a brush in there, but we'll see when we get it. But all right, I want to get it in the hot tank, and we're going to give it a wash and see what else comes off. Let's see, there's some identified marks here. So 77, and unfortunately a lot of that's going to go away, but definitely can see now that's the only, it looks like TIII OS. I thought that was T111, but it's letter TIII OS. So we're going to give her a bath. See, I mean, all this up in here just wipes off, turns black. So I mean, put this in an acid bath, what's left in here is going to come right off. So anyway, that block has gone from nothing to looking very usable. That sure don't look like the same block we put in there, does it? I was going to show you guys this, why it was in here yet. Holy moly. Wow, I can't believe that. So I'm going to get it rinsed off, get it out, and we're going to get it sprayed down with WD-40. Alright, there it is. I mean, it's been coated in WD-40. I mean, the bolt holes, a little bit of rust in there, but look up in there. All in the lifter bores. Up there in the cam tunnel. All this rust is gone. Yeah, there's the main journals look pretty good. Like I said, I'll put a straight edge on them. And I know the cylinder is still rough. Could I take more of that rust out? Yeah. but this is a standard bore, and you can see the ring ridge in there. I mean, every cylinder's got ring ridge, so you know it's got to be bored. Okay, we got a little bit more down there for rust. But I think after the machinist runs this through his acid bath, that's going to eat some more of that rust off. And like I said, the passenger side of the motor is the worst. But otherwise, look at those lifter bores. I have not run a burry brush or nothing through them yet. And they're not pitted. I mean, this thing, now the driver's side, cylinders almost look usable. Like I said, it's going to need to be bored. I guess my question now is, do we keep it a 327? Or do we find a 283 crank and turn this into a 302 Chevy? And the proof to you guys is still the same block. There's that TIIIOS. And there's no VIN number or nothing. So, and we've found the date code. Show up anywhere. Come on, stop moving. K7 of 62. So that's actually probably a 63 block. It would have been like in November. So yeah, this is actually a 63 block cast in 62. So main caps don't look bad, but there is a little etching, but you need to worry about clamping force and that. A little disintegrated there, so maybe we might line bore this. I'll get the blasting cabinet out and blast these to see how they look. But yeah, it's a long ways from perfect, but it's still a usable block. I mean, there's still even the, oh, look at that, there's even an original seal with the part number, or well, as far as we know. I mean, the bolts, look at those, they look like brand new bolts again. So yeah, I gotta get the galley plugs out, and that's another thing. I think I'm actually going to be able to get these out of the side of the block easier. I mean, even look inside. That Evapo rust has cleaned up the inside of that motor. So yes, as long as I can, I'm going to keep on using that Evapo rust. And when this stuff dies, they dig, just a second. Come on, turn off. They did give me some ideas to do. He said if you could filter it, it'd be great. If you can warm it, but he says you got to watch it. When you warm it, the water will evaporate out, and he says all you got to do is add water back to it. It isn't supposed to weaken it. And ultrasonic cleaners would be great. So if I had an ultrasonic cleaner that I could heat, put these blocks in, this thing could have been cleaned in about 20 minutes to an hour. So, but for what it was on the shop floor here a couple days ago, I really almost put it in the scrap wagon. But now I've got a nice old standard bore 327. This is where I wish we had our own boring bar. We'd bore that ourselves here, and yeah. But I'm going to Scotch Brite up the mains and all that. We'll get it on an engine stand, and I'll straight edge it, make sure it's still round, and we'll dial indicator it too, make sure it's still round. And yeah, from trash to something that could be fixed. So yeah, I guess if somebody needs a 62, 63, 327 block, here you go. Like I said, I should find the crank that I got with this, but I don't think we can save it. I think it was already turned. So maybe I'll have to try it. So I think I know where it's at. But anyway, everybody, I hope you enjoyed this. And I mean, the Evapo rust works, and you're going to see another video that I done where I used rainwater that I let the motor get rained on last week, and I went out and it broke loose. But I got a motor in here that I want to put on the stand, that I want to put the amount of pop bottles worth of Evapo rust in it to eat the rust out of that cylinder, so I can get that motor turning over so we can disassemble it. So, yeah. I guess I don't know what else to say right now, but the Evapo stuff for us, the Evapo rust remover works great, and it just saved a block that I was really seriously thinking about throwing away. So, hey, everybody, take care, and see you in the next one.